G'day you mob, Pete here, and this is another episode of Aussie English, the number one place for anyone and everyone wanting to learn Australian English. So today I have a Goss episode for you where I sit down with my old man, my father, Ian Smissen, and we talk about the week's news, whether locally down under here in Australia or non-locally overseas in other parts of the world. Okay, and we sometimes also talk about whatever comes to mind, right? If we can think of something interesting to share with you guys related to us or Australia, we also talk about that in the Goss. So these episodes are specifically designed to try and give you content about many different topics where we're obviously speaking in English and there are multiple people having a natural and spontaneous conversation in English. So it is particularly good to improve your listening skills. In order to complement that though, I really recommend that you join the podcast membership or the academy membership at aussieenglish.com.au, where you will get access to the full transcripts of these episodes, the PDFs, the downloads, and you can also use the online PDF reader to read and listen at the same time. Okay, so if you really want to improve your listening skills fast, get the transcript, listen and read at the same time, keep practicing, and that is the quickest way to level up your English. Anyway, I've been rabbiting on a bit. I've been talking a bit. Let's just get into this episode, guys. Smack the bird, and let's get into it. So, what's on the next... No more idiots.
No, a couple of stories. One, and this one's not so much a news story as an anti-news story. And it'll become obvious what I mean. No, I'm not going to talk about Turdock.
Turdock. Good one.
This is about...
We're going to get sued.
Rupert, bring it on.
Take me for everything I'm not worth.
Take me for everything I'm not worth, exactly. Yeah, whatever I'm not worth, you can have.
Yeah.
Shark bite fatalities have tripled. Headlines.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
should be worried
to talk about too.
And this is one of these ones where you go, and it hits the press every time there is a shark attack in Australia. It hits the press, and obviously, it's potentially a tragedy for the victim.
It's also a big,
but it's also a big bloody fear of the average person. Ironically, it doesn't appear to be enough of a fear to stop people going in the water, but that's a different story. But then when you get these headlines about, shark bite fatalities have tripled, they've tripled from 2 or
7.
3 a year over the last few years to 7 so far in 10 months and 10 and a half months this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, they've tripled, but when you're starting at 2, it doesn't take much to triple it.
Well, but that'd be like with the COVID stuff, right? I think today we got 7 cases.
We got 7, which is it's a 700% increase on yesterday.
Jesus, we had 1 yesterday. Yeah. Like, COVID's gone crazy.
I know.
And you're just like, well, how do we know it's not just a blip?
Yeah, so the story, it turns out that if you ignore, and this article talks about the deleting, there have been 21 attacks this year since the 1st of January in Australia.
2/3 got away. They survived.
3 of those, whoever they is, the infamous they, are classifying them as provoked attacks.
Provoked. Well, they went chasing the shark and grabbed its tail.
Yeah, well, not so much that, but these are people who are deliberately interacting with the shark and they end up getting attacked. So they're actually removed from the accidental attack.
So it's not just you're on your surfboard, blah, blah, blah.
Swimming around and you go, oops, what happened?
Where's my leg?
Yeah.
Did you see that image before we continue?
No.
Did you see the video of...
What are we going to do?
Yeah, go for it. Grab me another one too.
Yeah.
Did you
see... You want to swap over or the same?
I'll go the same one.
Keep talking while I...
There was a video of a guy just paddling around. Someone's got their drone out. And this is the interesting thing. Now that we have so many drones on beaches, as well as people with their phones, we quite often see
see all sorts of things.
Ramifications of the attacks or the attacks themselves or close encounters. And this year there's been quite a few that have made the headlines of these close encounters where this footage was the drone up in the air. Dad's lost the foam all over the place.
Lost it.
Gave it a bit of a shake.
I didn't do anything.
It wasn't my fault.
Wasn't my fault.
So
the Bart Simpson defence, I didn't do it.
The drone...
you can have this one. You ready?
Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's all good.
No, it's this beer.
It's that beer, isn't it? Going crazy.
All right. You don't mind the table.
The drone footage... it's all good. The drone footage is in the sky looking down at this surfer, and you see this great white come up behind him. And in fact, I think it's below him initially. It circles around, and I think, you know, there are all these people saying, "Get out! Get out! Get out!" Yeah, exactly. He's waving. And so he just keeps paddling along slowly, and the great white comes right up behind his board, and he, I think, just kicks right in front of its face. And it just makes a thrash and disappears off into the distance.
Yeah.
And the thrash gets him to turn around, and he doesn't see it because it disappears.
It's gone.
He just hears the water. And then afterwards, he gets out of the waves, gets onto the beach, and the guy with the drone...
Hey, have a look at this!
He's like, do you want to take a look at what that was? I'm like, Jesus. And there was another video that I saw recently where I think it was for 5 minutes. A spear fisherman he obviously dived off his boat. He's looking for fish. He gets taken away, or, you know, meanders off in the water underwater for hundreds of meters. Surfaces, and he's 400 meters away from his boat. He can see it. But then as he goes back under the water, there's a great white, massive female, you know, under the water. And he has to... It's like the most frightening video because it's the point of view footage where he's got a GoPro on the top of his head. So it's as if you're there with him as that person. And he's snorkeling, I think. I don't think he's diving. So he can't stay under the water the entire time. Yeah. And so he's at the surface of the water just below it and has to keep coming. It's like literally out of a horror film. He has to keep going under the water to see where the shark is, holding his spear gun out and just waiting for it to attack.
At the same time trying to swim back to the boat.
And trying to get a breath. Yeah. And so he keeps going up, gets a breath, comes back down, the shark gets closer, sort of goes around, and then finally it has a go at him. And he, I think, shoves the spear in its mouth, goes away, comes back, has another go, and just manages to get take half his flipper. And then just disappears. It's like, this is not worth it.
Yeah, tastes like crap.
But for 5 minutes, you're like, that must have been the longest 5 minutes of this guy's life.
Well, it's not just the 5 minutes. It's the fact that the 5 minutes could have been 5 hours.
Yeah.
He didn't know how long it was going to end up being.
And just seeing the footage, guys, look this up. You'll see the footage online. It's just horrifying of the fact that he has to keep getting his head above water or close to the surface to get air. And each time he does that, the shark obviously disappears from view. And, you know, he's above the water, looking for his boat, looks around, then goes back underwater and has to try and find the shark again. And you just like, you know, quite simply, fuck that. Like, fuck that. So hard. I just would never, that is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Of being in that situation. It's like being hunted by a bear or a lion or something on land. But at least then, if you're getting killed, there's not the added bonus of drowning simultaneously.
Well.
Yeah, I would. I mean,
interesting way of putting it.
If you had to choose, would you rather a shark kill you or a bear kill you?
I think the answer to that is no.
You don't have a choice. You got.
I don't have a choice. I've got to pick one. Look, I reckon I'd go shark.
You reckon?
Yeah,
it's just going to be quicker
because
quicker.
Assume that kill is the ultimate thing.
Yeah,
and that I'm not going to, you know, bleed to death on the beach 5 hours later.
Yeah.
It should be a quicker way to go.
True. And I guess the shark's going to rip off your limbs and you'll bleed out within seconds, maybe minutes max.
Or it's just going to
take your head off. But the bear may just actually disable you and then tuck into you whilst you're alive. Yeah, far out. Anyway, sorry.
So,
keep going with the story.
So, well, that's the story. So, so if we take the three Idiot Award people out who are interacting with sharks and end up getting attacked.
Yeah.
There are 18 shark bites in Australia so far this year. And 7 of those have been fatal. Now, 7 out of 18 is higher than the normal proportion.
Well, the normal is 1 to 2. I think
1 to 2 out of about the same number, 15, 16, I think is about the average over the last 4 or 5 years. So, so that in itself is interesting, but it's like, it comes down to those statistics and we hear about them all the time. And unfortunately, you never get to talk to the epidemiologists or the experts in disease when we talk about, if you eat bacon, it's a 20% increase in the chance of getting stomach cancer.
Don't tell me that. I love bacon.
The chance of anybody getting stomach cancer is less than 1%.
Yeah.
That does not mean there is a 21% chance. It means there is a 1.2% chance.
Yeah.
So it's meaningless. It's one of those things that it's a meaningless data. And so this, 3 times the number of, the risk of being attacked by a shark, fatally attacked by a shark is statistically true, but it's a meaningless thing.
Yeah. Brings it closer to your mouth.
There will be, and I haven't looked this up, I should have, but if you were to rate causes of death in Australia, shark attack would be somewhere, I reckon, on the 100th page.
Well, you should be, if you were to be proportionately afraid of animals likely to kill you, I think number one is horses.
Bees.
I think it's horses that actually get more than bees. I think horses were something like 70 people in Australia a year die. And you would imagine it's not the horses in and of themselves killing them, it's
falling off
the horses and die.
What's the old gag about, what are the 2 most dangerous sports in Australia?
What is it? Golf and lawn bowls?
Yeah. People die of heart attacks because they have 80-year-olds.
But it's how you're measuring it, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But, it's statistics.
But that's it. Dogs kill 7 people a year. So you should be as equally afraid of getting into the field with a dog in the field with you. I was reading an article about this same thing, though it was a different take on it. And so, I guess the point was there was this alarming spike this year where we've had 7 fatal attacks. It hasn't been seen for 86 years, the same number, where I think the highest number was 9 in 1929. And we were contrasting this with 0 attack deaths last year. But it was interesting because I guess the crux of the article I was reading was that they think climate change is having a big effect where warm waters are moving south. And as a result, you have these larger predators like tiger sharks and bull sharks, which prefer warmer waters moving south. And then with great white sharks that actually prefer colder waters, apparently there was something going on with the movement of water that's pushing the cold water into the coastline. And as a result of this, the movement of water and the way that it's interacting with climate change, you have the prey of these animals also tracking those movements. And so a lot of these species that are commonly eaten or targeted by these sharks are moving south and moving inland or closer, not inland, but towards the coast. And so assuming that this isn't just a random, blip in statistics, if it were to actually, consistently show a high proportion of people are going to be attacked, it's because these interactions are going to happen more frequently as a result of climate change, warming the waters up, and the sharks' distributions changing. And if they move further south, they're going to come into contact with people in more heavily populated places like Sydney and Melbourne, where I remember being in the water in Queensland and seeing tiger sharks. I don't think I've ever seen a bull shark, but yeah.
Go to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, they're frightening.
I see them in the canals there all the time.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. The bull sharks are...
Because they're mad.
Are crazy.
They
can get into fresh water. That's
but they'll also eat anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the same as tiger sharks.
Predators.
They've dissected tiger sharks and found number plates in them. Because obviously their sensory organ at the front of their face that allows them to sense, I think, electricity in the water.
Detects metal as well.
Yeah, it can detect metal, and so they'll get interested by that sort of stuff and pick that up. But I remember there was a crazy article about when we had those floods in southeast Queensland, and there were people stuck inside of McDonald's, and they saw a bull shark swimming down the street in about a metre of water, and we're just like, what the hell? What kind of nightmare is that? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I think as well, how do you feel about it when Australia also has this, we need to keep people safe, we need to cull sharks, the numbers are getting too big now that they're rebounding after they were almost hunted to extinction. We have drum lines, we have shark nets, which pick up and kill a lot of sharks. They may deter some of them, but they also kill a lot of other animals like whales and turtles.
Seals. And
do you, as someone who uses the water, do you just need to take responsibility for that fact and be like, every time I go into the water, I am, accepting that that's either going to happen or not?
And you don't go swimming in places or surfing or diving in places that are, or circumstances that are more likely to have sharks there.
Yeah.
Particularly where you've got change of weather, churned up water. And I think that is mostly around the shark's inability to distinguish you from another large prey item.
Yeah.
Because typically sharks are not going to eat people. They don't. There's no identification in their brains, I think, that says, "Oh, people, that equals food." They will misidentify you as a very large fish or as a seal in particular, I think, with great whites.
Yeah.
Typically, great whites are eating tuna and seals, depending on where they are.
Yeah.
And other sharks will just, like bull sharks, they'll just eat anything. So they just happen to be the wrong place at the wrong time.
You would imagine this is why we end up seeing the bodies of people quite often. It's not person was attacked by a shark and disappeared.
Yeah.
Usually. It does happen.
Yeah.
But usually it's person was bitten and as a result dies.
They're not eaten.
Yeah.
They die from a fatal bite.
And which is interesting because it shows that the shark probably had the chance to finish you off.
What is interesting is that this year I think it's a statistical blip, and I agree with all of the things you're talking about, climate change and those sort of things. And the article talks about that.
Yeah.
But 18 in the 10 and a half months so far this year is within the normal distribution of attacks in a year. It just happens that 7 of those 18 have been fatal this year, as opposed to none out of 16, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
So
everyone was getting bitten on the ankle last year, not the thigh.
And that's just when you're talking about very small numbers, that's just a statistical anomaly.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that, sharks are not dangerous, but more people get killed by crocodiles.
Well, more people die in their cars.
Well, yeah.
And
thousands of people.
From the cold, from COVID.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, But, if you're swimming around in the surf where you've got large fish and you've got seals, then there are going to be sharks.
Take a mate.
Yeah.
Someone who swims slower than you.
Yeah, take lots of them.
That's what every time I went surfing, it was always like, where's the group of people? Don't be a hero. Don't go off on your own. I'll find the spot. It's like you've got chances in numbers. Right?
Look, all those sea lions sitting on the rocks over there. Yeah, I'll go over there.
All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty, you mob, thank you so much for listening to or watching this episode of The Goss. If you would like to watch the video, if you're currently listening to it and not watching it, you can do so on the Aussie English TV channel on YouTube. This is different from the main channel. You'll be able to subscribe to that. Just search Aussie English TV on YouTube. And if you're watching this and not listening to it, you can check this episode out also on the Aussie English podcast, which you can find via my free Aussie English podcast application on both Android and iPhone. You can download that for free, or you can find it via any other good podcast app that you've got on your phone. Spotify, podcasts from iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is. I'm your host, Pete. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a ripper of a day, and I will see you next time. Peace!